Hello guys, it's Amanda and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be doing the annual mid-year freakout tag. So let's get right into it. So this is a little game that we play every year where I go through all the books that I have read so far in the halfway point of the year. It is called the mid-year freakout tag and a lot of booktubers do this and I've been doing it ever since I became a booktuber. So this is 2024's mid-year freakout tag. So far as I'm filming this, it is June 17th. So far this year I have read a total of 17 books. Now that is kind of low for me. My reading goal for the year is always 30. I always surpass that every year, but like usually I'm always way ahead, but now I'm like just on target. Yeah, I haven't read a lot so far, and the books I have read, there weren't a lot of great ones, so let's just talk about them. So the first question is, what is the best book you have read so far? The best book I've read so far is definitely going to be The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I have just finished this. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It is a horror thriller novel and I could not believe what I was reading. It's twisty, there's dark gothic seaside vibes. I absolutely love this book and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, so that is definitely going to be the best book I've read so far. Maybe the best book I've read all year this year. Maybe it'll be one of my top 5 of this year. Maybe. I don't know. We will see. The second question is, what is the best sequel you have read so far? I haven't read many sequels. I haven't read many series at all this year, but I did read Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, which is the second book in the Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies series by Heather Fawcett. That is the sequel that I read this year, and I was kind of disappointed by it, but I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Definitely not as good as the first one, but I still did enjoy it. The next question is, what is a new release that you want to read this year? A new release that I'm really want to read is a book that just came out in May, and that is Love at First Book by Jenn McKinlay. Again, I just spoke about this in my summer book haul video. This book is a new romance book and it is all about book lovers, and I cannot wait to read it. It seems so good and I love the cover already, so I cannot wait to read that. Hopefully soon. Definitely this summer. I really want to read. What is the most anticipated book you want to read this year? So excited for a book I just got, and that is called Never by Jessa Hastings. This is a Neverland / Peter Pan retelling, and it is a love triangle between Wendy's granddaughter, Peter Pan, and Captain Hook's son. That is the best thing I could possibly imagine, and I cannot wait to read this book. And I absolutely love everything Neverland and Peter Pan, and I really hope that this is one of the good retellings, because you guys have been here for a while, you know I've read a lot of bad retellings. Number 5 is, what is your biggest disappointment? I said this before, the biggest disappointment so far this year has definitely been Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. I was expecting a lot more from it, and I just was reading it and I was honestly just bored for a good chunk of it, which I'm sad about because I love the characters in this book and I love the somewhat like dark cottagecore, dark academia aspect of it. Is just, I was really bored with this book. I don't know why. Number 6 is, what is the biggest surprise from this year? I would say the book I was most surprised by is definitely The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. This book is one of the first books I read this year, and it was my first 5-star read of the year. It is just a cute, quaint little mystery about a bookshop that is lost. A man goes into a bookshop one day and it's the best bookshop he's ever seen, and then he walks out of it, turns around, and realizes there's nothing there. He's just on an empty street. There's 2 different timelines going on. The first is the original owner of the bookshop, and then our 2 protagonists trying to then figure out where this bookshop went. Number 7 is, who is your new favorite author? My new favorite author I think is definitely going to be S.T. Gibson. I have read their book in the past. I read A Dowry of Blood back in October of 2022, and that was one of my favorite books of that year. And I read An Education in Malice this year, which we'll get to in a bit. That was one of my favorite books I've read this year so far, and I absolutely love their writing style. They can make a story so beautiful and so gothic and just so beautiful and scary at the same time, and it's, I don't know how to describe it, you just have to read it for yourself. Their writing is just immaculate in it. Number 8 is, who is your newest fictional crush? That's gonna have to be Henry from The Lost Bookshop. I honestly, this year I haven't read a lot of romances so far. I think there was only really 2 books I think this year that I've read that had like strong romances in it, and I think that's really it, which is surprising for me. Number 9 is who is your newest favorite character? Again, coming up with Education and Malice, Carmilla. Carmilla is my favorite. I want to be her. I just felt so connected to this woman and I want to be her in real life. Number 10 is what is a book that made you cry? I really don't have one so far that has made me like full on cry, but one that I did feel like happy tears more like was definitely The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. I just finished the entire Practical Magic series last month. I was reading them out of order. I've finished with The Rules of Magic, and if you know me, you know that Practical Magic is very, very close to my heart, and just knowing that this was the last book of the series I was reading made me cry more, if that makes sense. It's not, I mean, yes, there is sad parts in the book, but I wasn't really crying from that, but just because I love this story so much. Number 11 is what is the book that made you happy? The book that made me most happy this year, I think, is going to be What Once Was Mine. This is the Tangled/Rapunzel retelling in the Twisted Tales series, and I absolutely love Tangled, and Rapunzel is definitely one of my top 3 Disney princesses, and reading it just really made me feel connected to my childhood again. I really liked it. It was nice, it was cute, it was fast-paced, really good pick-me-up after the long winter we had. Number 12 is what is the most beautiful book you have bought this year? The most beautiful book is definitely going to be the Witchcraft book I just bought. I was just in my summer book haul, and that's the Witchcraft of the Library of Estorica. I think it is the most beautiful thing I own now. It has so many beautiful, beautiful illustrations throughout it, and it's one of my prized possessions right now. I just want to display it all the time in my room, and it's one of my favorites. And finally, number 13, what are some books you want to read for the rest of the year? Obviously, I've got a lot on my list, but I think the top 3 books I definitely want to read for the rest of the year is Emma by Jane Austen, of course. I've been slowly making my way through that, so I've been reading it, but I want to definitely finish it this year, hopefully. Second is The Adventures of Almina al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. This is a pirate story, and people have said that it is so much like Pirates of the Caribbean. It is about a woman who is a retired pirate, but then is offered a deal of a lifetime and has to go on one last adventure or something like that, and I think it is so perfect to read on vacation, and we're going to the beach soon, so I think I definitely want to read it then. And then finally is a book that I just found out about, and I honestly don't really have too much of a clue of what it's about, but it is These Fleeting Shadows by Kate Alice Marshall. It is another thriller, and I'm hoping that I'm on a good thriller kick because I absolutely loved The Only One Left by Riley Sager, and I'm hoping that These Fleeting Shadows is somewhat similar because it somewhat has a similar storyline-ish, not really just being a gothic story with a big mansion. That's really the only similarities, but those are the rest of the books that I want to read for 2024. Again, there's probably a lot more. There is a lot more. We will get to those when we get to them. So that is the end of the mid-year freakout tag. Again, I love doing these tags every single year, and I love talking about all the books that I've read so far, and to see where I'm at on my goal for the year, if I'm reading books that are good. I feel like I only really have, I think so far this year I've only had 3 5-star books. I don't know, it's definitely lower than previous years, so hopefully I get some better books going for the next 6 months. So that is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please hit the like button, hit subscribe if you have not already, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified every single time that I upload. I upload every single week. And if you want to find me anywhere else for any more bookish content, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, GoodReads, Pinterest, and in between the pages of a book. And as always, remember to be the Captain Jack Sparrow of your story, and may your compass lead you to amazing things. And I'll just see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!